Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about in this video about getting prepared for the famine that is being orchestrated right now. If you don't believe that, then don't prepare, right? I'm tired of hearing people in the comments, especially the ones that are held, saying this is never going to, it's happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't see more than one day into the future, then you're not going to be prepared. And that's all there's to it. I'm not going to throw a rant, but it's happening right now. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the major job losses that we are seeing coming into next year. I remember talking about this with you, about the job losses that we're going to start happening starting this month and going into next year, and it is incredible. Wait till you see the numbers. However, first, I want to cover something that is very important, and it is something that you need to prepare with, in my opinion, as well as I am doing. I received an email from one of our community members, and I'm going to read it to you. That way you can hear it for yourself. I'm actually going to put it up. I'm going to cross off her name, of course, but I'm going to read it to you so you can hear it for yourself. In a way, it's disturbing, but it's a sign of the times. When these Western nations start turning into third world nations, as I've discussed before, meaning that our standard of living is going to be very lowered, we're going to see things go away that we were used to having on an everyday basis and never even thought about it until the day that we need it and it's not available. Hey AP, just wanted to confirm your info. Antibiotic shortage and tell you briefly what I went through today to get my son his medication. 10-year-old special needs sick child. Thankfully not serious at this point, but serious enough to warrant a doctor visit and antibiotics. Doctor called in amoxicillin. Received a phone message from Walgreens that our local store was out of stock. Called back to inquire about other locations and spoke to an employee who said that there is a national shortage of amoxicillin. No other stores will have it, they told her. You need to call your doctor back and request a different antibiotic. Then she called back and spoke to a nurse who told her that they will try again, but that if they don't have it, she's going to have to find a way to do something else. And then she says, thankfully, the pharmacy had a second medication. I think this is pronounced azithromycin in stock. I am a nurse, she says, and am comfortable with medication names, classes of antibiotics, and know how to maneuver the system in a timely manner. However, I could see this leading to a very dangerous and scary place in the future. As you know, we are in the beginning throes of this supply shortage, and we are in the beginning. If you think we've had a supply shortage in the past, going forward, ladies and gentlemen, things are going to continue to get progressively worse. Right? I've stated in the past that we are going to see those things that we really don't need leave the shelves. And those things that we really do need to live stay on the shelves. And then the second phase is going to be those things that we like, for example, brand A instead of brand E, disappear from the shelf, and now you're left with the generic brand of the same stuff that you used. And then the third stage is going to be that there are going to be complete shortages of certain items during certain times of the month or the year. So for example, let's say that Alabama, just picking a state out of the air, let's say that Alabama has a shortage on flour, but they have plenty of cornmeal. And then let's say that Washington state has plenty of flour, but they don't have any cornmeal. That's going to be the third stages, where you're going to see shortages that come about on a monthly basis, and then you're going to find yourself going to the store just trying to see if you can find that flour on your next shopping strip so that you can stock up on that. But there's going to be shortages like that. And then the last stage, in my opinion, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be that there's going to be several shortages at the same time. Prices are going to be extremely high. The government is going to step in and place in price controls, meaning that you are going to be rationed on what you can purchase and when you can purchase it. And that's if we don't have a CBDC. She continues to say, please continue to inform people to stock up on all of their meds, including over-the-counter. The doctor office was pretty much letting me know that I would have been responsible for the footwork and finding out what ABX was available and communicating that info to the doctor. You all remember when I tell you that, when I've told you in the past that in Dominican Republic, now this is back when I visited a long time ago, it was years ago, so the conditions there now, I'm pretty sure they're still the same. as far as the doctor visits and hospital visits, but I can't say that with certainty. Next time that I talk to my brother in Dominican Republic, I'll ask him if it's still the same way. But that in Dominican Republic, if you were going to make a doctor's appointment and go in for a procedure, whatever it may be, that you have to go in there with money in hand. If this is how much the appointment was going to cost you, you have to go in there with that money and pay it up front. And if you're going to need a certain medication for whatever procedure you were going to have, you needed to bring that medication with you. So they would give you a list of medication, and then you would have to bring that with you. She finishes off by saying, I see this getting very ugly and frustrating for many people in the future. And then she says, continue blessings and prayers. Thank you very much for this email. I think this is very important. Ladies and gentlemen, look, this can save your life one day. Yes, I am affiliated with Contingency Medical. Why? Because I think they are a very good company who provide a very good service and product that one day may save your life, or my life, or someone in my family's life. This is no gimmick. This is the real deal. I got this for free for reviewing this. I got this for free for reviewing the video, just like I get solar generators for free. But I'm going to go ahead and buy one of these for each member of my family. For my wife, for my daughter, for my son, and for my daughter-in-law. I can't buy one for Michael because he's not 16. You have to be at least 16 in order to be able to get this. But if this is not in your medical kit, this is why I gave a few of these away during our Christmas Bash giveaway. Because I think this is very important to have. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'll finish it with this. Do your own research, right? If you think that there may be a shortage in the future and you want to put this on your priority list, go ahead. It's up to you, all right? And I actually just talked to my rep over at Contingency Medical, and guess what they have there? It's so sad. I know I'm ranting, but it's so sad that a small company like Contingency Medical is fully stocked on amoxicillin, but our pharmacies and our hospitals, they can't get that. What does that say? I mean, what has happened to our country? Anyways, I do have a link for Contingency Medical in the description of the video, and I'll go ahead and leave it on a pinned comment as well. And I do have a code. I forget what it is, but it's for $10 off. But the $10 off, in my opinion, it doesn't even matter. I mean, it's that this is something that we need to have. And you may think that I'm just doing this as a gimmick so that you can click on my link or whatever, but no, ladies and gentlemen, trust me, when you need this, you're going to need it. You're going to wish that you had it. We're going to need to be stocked up on food. Yes, we are. You don't want to believe it, don't believe it. I keep saying you don't want to believe it, don't believe it, do what you want. It's because I get the comments. I get a whole bunch of comments that are like held automatically by YouTube, and they're put on a separate folder. And those are comments that are not very nice, right? And I read them. I'm like, man, so many people are going to be in despair going forward. Because the way that I see that is for every one of those comments that I get that's calling me crazy or fearmonger or anything like that, for every one of those, there's probably 1,000 other people that feel the same. That are like, man, you're crazy. This is never going to happen. I'm going to continue to live my normalcy biased life. And then when the end comes, it comes. Well, that's fine. It's your life to live. But if you don't see it with your eyes, that we are going to have famine, we are going to have food shortages like crazy because of what they're doing now. This is what's called actionable intel. Look at what they're doing, and this article here talks about what they're doing. It makes absolutely no sense except to reduce the amount of food in the world. German farmers are ordered to slash nitrogen fertilizer usage to comply with EU green tyrants. And that's exactly what they are. Tyrants. Ladies and gentlemen, nitrogen makes up like 78% of the gases in our atmosphere. How in the world are farmers not using it to grow food going to help the environment or global warming, whatever it is that they're calling it today? I'm only going to read a small part of this, and then I'm going to leave the link to this along with everything else on a pinned comment. Germany bans farmers from properly fertilizing land to serve EU green agenda. As of Thursday, the use of nitrate fertilizers has been greatly restricted for large swaths of farmland in North Rhine-Westphalia. I believe that's how you pronounce it. the site reports, referring to one of the most abundant food production areas in Germany. So they're taking one of their most abundant food production areas in that country and pretty much shutting it down. Because the less nitrogen that you use, the less food that you're going to get. And they're doing this in a time where we are already experiencing lower crop yields throughout the world. In a time where we are experiencing crops that are being raised in the big U, you know, the one that's at war right now with the big R, where crops that are being harvested there are not being able to be transported to places that need them. They're doing it in a time, ladies and gentlemen, where we are entering into a grand solar minimum. They're doing it in a time where the lower hemisphere of the Earth is being infiltrated. The atmosphere of the lower hemisphere of the Earth has been infiltrated with particulates from that big volcano. I think it was called Tonga. Don't quote me on that one. From that volcano that spewed a whole bunch of water, particulates and sulfur into the atmosphere, which will further reduce the amount of sunlight that comes into the lower hemisphere, therefore reducing the amount of crops that will be harvested. And I'm not sure how long that'll last. If it'll last 1 season or 2 seasons or 3. You know, eventually it will drop down to where the particulates have fallen down to the earth. But they're doing all of these things to dampen how much crops we can grow and harvest during the worst of times. And I think that this title, it's pretty fitting, saying that they're EU green tyrants. Because you cannot tell me that these governments, that they don't have the best people and brightest people working for them with PhDs, physicists, all these types of people working for them. People that actually can look back in time, geologists that can look back in time and say, yeah, every 350 to 400 years we go through a grand solar minimum. And that results in a lower yield of crops. So we have to stock up. But no, they're instead saying, no, stop growing food. Stop using the things that you need to grow food. The best I can say is that on a personal level, there is absolutely nothing that we can do. And as a collective, there is absolutely nothing that we can do. Why? Because we are not a collective. We are divided. And not only divided on 1 or 2 topics, but so many topics that it's incredible. We as a people will not come together until we have felt the pain so bad that we finally realize who the real enemy is. And we've talked about this before. Inflation may force 2 and 3 small businesses to close in 2022. Well, it's been happening, but it's going to get a lot worse going into 2023. Let me just go ahead. I'm not going to show you all of them because there's so many, but I will leave the link. These chain stores are closing locations in 2023. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not 1 or 2. It's not 10. It's not 20 or 30. It's more. Take a look at this. CVS. 200 branches, not 200 employees. They're closing 200 branches. Dunkin' Donuts, 800 stores are going to close. AMC Theaters to be determined. Starbucks, 400 branches. Incredible. AT&T, 320 branches. Bed Bath & Beyond, 43. Remember, these are branches. They're not people. So you multiply those times the number of people that they have on average per branch, and that's what's closing down. Walgreens, 200. Let's see, Target, 13. H&M, I don't know what H&M is. It looks like it's a clothing store. 215 branches. People are broke. People cannot buy the things that they don't need to live. They are broke, ladies and gentlemen. This really breaks my heart. It really does, because, and when I say we, I mean the people that are supposed to be representing us. We have done this to ourselves. We have done this to ourselves. In a small part, we the people too. Because everyone was very, very excited when we got all these stimulus checks a few years ago. And now we're paying those back, not only this year, but for the rest of our lives. GNC, 900 branches. Oh my goodness. Bath and Body Works, 50 branches. Look at this. I'm just gonna bring. Oh my goodness. Look how many there are. Look. Let me see. Right now we are at 29. Kmart, I didn't even know that Kmart even still existed. 100 plus branches, and we're only at 29. Let's see where we stop here. 60. Aldi, to be determined. GameStop. How many are GameStop, 180 to 200 branches. And we are only in the 60s. Let's go all the way back down. 94. SEE Eyewear, unknown. Is there any more after 94? 95. Club Monaco, 1 branch. Let's bring it down. How much more do we have? This is incredible. I'll bring it all the way down. It doesn't stop. Okay, here it is. 190. Oh, 190. Wells Fargo is closing over a dozen locations. The best that we can do is prepare. If you have to get a second job before they start all these layoffs, get a second job. Stock up on your reserves, on your cash reserves, so that you can live for a few months without having to worry about running out of cash. That's how you prepare for this. There's so many things to prepare for that it may seem overwhelming. But if the best that you can do is to make sure that you're stocked up on food, water, medicine, all right, and self-defense, in my opinion, if that's the best that you can do the best that you can do. Because I'll tell you what, there's so many people out there that are not prepared at all, that live day to day, that go to the grocery store every day or every other day, or just eat in restaurants every day, especially in big cities. There's so many people out there that are just not prepared at all, that even if you're just a little bit prepared for, let's say, a month or 2 or 3, that you're going to be better off than 95 to 90% of everyone in the United States of America. Having said that, I probably made this video way too long. Again, ladies and gentlemen, continue to prepare. This is the Christmas season, and I am loving it. Remember to enjoy the little things, okay? Remember to enjoy the little things. This is very important. In my opinion, this type of news is very important because it's going to allow you to prepare better for the future. At least that's what I think. That's why I do this. In addition to that, I love doing what I do. I love coming into my bunker every day, communicating back and forth with you all. I really love doing my live streams. I love what I do. So this is why I bring you this. It's not to scare you. It's not to try to make you panic. It's to show you what I see coming. And I have to tell you the truth, that a few of the things that I said last year that were going to be here now, they're here. So those of you that prepare for those things, and I'm not asking you to take my word for it, do your research and then prepare accordingly. So having said that, have a great day. I really do hope you have a great day. This week is Little Miss Alaska Prepper's birth week. All right. I will not divulge her birth date because she's not 18 yet, and that's her choice, right? But I won't do that. But this week is her birth week. So if you could, those of you that are still here, say happy birthday, Little Miss Alaska Prepper, and I'm sure she'll enjoy that if she takes a look at the comments, or I'll point them out to her. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so it's a great week, very great week. And today I am getting all of the ingredients to make her birthday dinner that she has every year. For those of you that don't know, it's sancocho, right? She loves my Dominican sancocho, and I make it once a year, sometimes twice, but for sure I make it every single year on her birthday. So if you ever look at my freezer and you see that I have 3 or 4 or 5 stacks of oxtail in there, it's because that's one of the ingredients, and I want to make sure that I always have it for the next 2 or 3 birthdays, just in case. Have a great day. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.